The OHL on the NET, up next.
Commentators' clothing provided by Zizenia, available at The Coop. The Canadian Hockey League on Rogers Sportsnet. Hockey that matters.
The Owen Sound Attack's big gun is Bobby Ryan. This Ducks first rounder went second overall in 2005. The product of Collingwood, New Jersey, continues to find the net with real regularity. Playing Guelph means Ryan will see a lot of this Ryan. Parent, he's a Nashville first rounder, gearing up for another shutdown role with Team Canada. The Storm Blue Line features another potential first rounder. NHL teams will have to wait till 2008 to get their hands on Drew Goughty. No doubt we're in for a gem this evening.
The CHL on Rogers Sportsnet.
Welcome inside the Guelph Sports and Entertainment Center, where tonight it's an OHL All-Midwest Division battle between the Storm and the visiting Owen Sound Attack. Good evening, everyone. Peter Loubardias alongside Sam Cosentino. Sam, Guelph, one of the youngest teams in the entire CHL. Owen Sound pretty close, I think, to making a real run in the conference and the division, yet Guelph's won the first two games.
Well, these teams are all jockeying in the Western Conference to try and find players. Owen Sound making the latest strike, acquiring a goaltender. But if you look at the standings, boy, it's so tough. London playing well, 45 points. Kitchener right there. And then you have Owen Sound and Guelph. Let's not forget Guelph is playing for that 8th and final spot in the Western Conference as far as the playoff race is concerned.
And Sam, no shortage of star power in this game from both sides.
Well, you look at Bobby Ryan, selected right after Sidney Crosby in the 2005 draft. He got off to a slow start, but really underwent a devastating week when he found out that he would not get the chance to represent the U.S. at the World Junior Tournament coming up. We'll see how he responds here tonight.
His line mate, however, will. He's a first-round selection of the LA Kings, Trevor Lewis.
Now, the United States Hockey League have over a point per game with Des Moines last year. Everyone who's watched this guy play, Peter, is really impressed by his play.
Great skater, and he was the USHL's Player of the Year last season with the Des Moines Buccaneers. Those two will see a lot of this gentleman, Ryan Parent. You can bet he'll be on the ice every time the other two guys are.
Nashville first rounder, just another one in a great crop of young defensemen. He's got great skating ability. He's been banged up for the most part this year, just has the 3 assists to show for it. But Peter, in the games that I've seen him play, he's really asserted himself as far as carrying the puck is concerned.
And you know that Sweden is squarely on his mind, although he's got a camp to go through. And what a week it's been for the birthday boy. Drew Goughty just turned 17 today, and he'll get on the same plane Sunday with Ryan Parent and try to make Canada's national junior team.
A lot of people were wondering if he would make the selection camp cut. Well, without a doubt he did. I think he impressed everyone with his play in the Canada-Russia series, and if you watch this guy on a regular basis, you know how good he is. He's not afraid to take it to the net. He's got great skating ability, good vision, keeps his head up. He has finish. And Peter, he at times this year has played up to 30 minutes a game when Parent has been out of the lineup.
He was on my list. And if it's not this year, he'll represent his country in that event. He wants to be a champion, so do these young men. Kids are ready, so are we. We'll drop the puck next.
The Canadian Hockey League on Rogers Sportsnet. Brought to you by MasterCard. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard.
Welcome to the Sportsnet studio. I'm RJ Broadhead. Guelph has lost 3 in a row. They'll try to snap that streak tonight against Owen Sound. I'll join you again in the first intermission. We'll talk more about the Toronto Maple Leafs, who have lost 6 in a row. We'll have more on that streak as they try to end that. We'll have highlights from Anaheim, Washington, 2 teams that are playing terrific right now. Anaheim, the most points in the league. Washington have won 4 in a row, but let's get you set for this OHL contest. 2 of the best in the business, Peter Loubardias and Sam Cosentino, standing by with the call.
RJ, thank you very much, and welcome to Guelph for the third of 8 meetings between the Owen Sound Attack and the Guelph Storm. Our starting goaltenders are brought to you, as always, by ADT, and they're always there. 4, the Owen Sound Attack just recently acquired in a deal from Windsor on December the 2nd, 20-year-old netminder Anthony Guadagnolo. He is 2-1 in his first 3 games in Owen Sound, and one of the up-and-coming netminders in this league. He just turned 17 yesterday. He's a product of Buffalo, New York. Thomas McCollum. Our referees are Brent Holdsworth and Pete Kostick. The linesmen, Tim Steen and Daryl Wolf. Tyler Doig, who's been sensational in the 2 meetings between these 2 teams with 5 points, starts at center for Guelph, facing Marcus Carroll of Owen Sound, who's out there with Lane McDermott, the son of former NHLer Paul McDermott, and Marek Bartanis, who will represent Slovakia for a 2nd straight year at the upcoming World Junior Championship.
Kick saved by Colomatis.
Drew Goughty. He will try out for Canada's national junior team, and he's celebrating his 17th birthday here today. And a physical opening to this first period.
I think you'd expect that, because anytime you get into the Midwest, the teams are so closely matched, Peter, that one team will always try and exert itself physically, try and get that edge over the other.
Doig scoops it in as Dave Barr's bunch. Making changes as Guadagnolo nearly banked it off the other newcomer to this Owen Sound team, Elgin Reed, who was acquired last week in a trade from the Ottawa 67s. Ryan Parent. Will this be the last home game for Ryan Parent in Guelph? With this young rebuilding team in Guelph, one has to wonder. You know the phone has been ringing off the hook about the possibility of obtaining this guy.
Well, Peter, you talk about Guadagnolo and Reed, the 2 newest players on this Owen Sound Attack, so obviously there's a communication issue here. You see, Reed wants the puck to go back behind the net the other way, but Guadagnolo tends to pass it to Reed, who's not expecting the pass, and that almost ended up in his own net there. But when you have 2 teammates, we talked to Mike Stuthers before the game about this, when you have guys who are really just starting to gel together and get together, it takes a little while for them to get the communication down.
An early penalty for Mike McLean, the 20-year-old from Oshawa, is having his best ever offensive season, holding up Bobby Ryan on the way through to the net. And Owen Sound enjoys the power play. They're 5th in the OHL at 22% coming into tonight's play. Here's first-round pick of the LA Kings, Trevor Lewis, and watch him skate. Out there with Bobby Ryan, Bob Sanguinetti, and Anton Hedman, a former Sudbury Wolf and a Boston draft pick.
And a monster. He's just a monster out there.
He is a large fellow. Parent on the back end of the penalty kill, along with Ryan Potriff. Anthony Nigro, the first-round pick for Guelph. He's just 16 years of age, and Jeff Hayes.
That tells you a lot when you have Nigro, just 16 years of age, out there on the PK. He's obviously been given a lot of responsibility here by Dave Barr.
Lewis working against Michael Caruso. And Caruso is going to make his way to the penalty box as Hedman comes over to say, I didn't like the way you treated Mr. Lewis.
Yeah, and Hedman was doing well there not to get overly aggressive and equal out the penalty situation. But for Caruso, what a bashing he put on Trevor Lewis there. Lewis tries to get by him, and Caruso gets the stick up. You see it right under the chin there. You know, it's one thing if you want to try and pinch him out with that good body check, shoulder to shoulder, and erase him that way. But once you get the stick up in that area, and the reason Caruso did that was because he felt Lewis, with that good speed, was going to get by him.
Owen Sound, and they can hurt you with the manpower advantage. Will enjoy a 2-man advantage for the next 1:03 early in this first period. Guelph has won the first 2 games between the 2 teams. Opening night, they posted a 4-3 victory in this building, and then in Owen Sound on the 25th of October, they won by a count of 4-2. As we look at Captain Bobby Ryan, and I have to tell you, Sam, we touched on it a little bit in the opening. I am shocked that he was not selected to the U.S. national junior team for a 2nd straight year.
Yeah, I find it hard to believe, too. I mean, most times in that situation, you'll see the returning guys be the first invited back. But for Ryan, obviously something going on there. It couldn't be the way he's played the last 3 weeks because he's been very good.
Coming off a 4-point outing in Erie and a victory the other night, and what an opportunity for Ryan. Did McCollum get a piece of that, or did it go straight out of play?
I think he got a piece of it, but you'll see the rebound created here on a good shot on goal. You got to get pucks through to the net. So that space opens up. McCollum blocks it to the side, and Ryan is there right net side to try and bang it in. Good point shot, and you see McCollum get over there, and you still can't tell whether or not he got a piece of it, but I believe he did, Pete.
Well, the faceoff would indicate that he didn't because it comes outside the blue line. So a great early opportunity for the Anaheim first rounder Bobby Ryan, but fails to pull the trigger. Elgin Reed down low for Ryan, parked in the slot is Hedman. Goughty breaks it up, and it's cleared just outside the line. Ryan, nice pass for Hedman with Trevor Lewis. Elgin Reed, quarterbacks with Sanguinetti. Reed, a hard shot, and that did not miss by much, and Karam's all the way back into the Owen Sound zone.
And McCollum good down low there. I don't even think he saw that shot.
Audignolo again wondering and almost causing himself a headache. Here's Lewis in full flight as the first penalty to Guelph expires to Mike McLean. Reed. That goes off a stick. Solomon behind the net for the veteran defender Patrick. Sanguinetti will hold it in. Some people thought he deserved an opportunity to play for the United States of the World Junior. He leads all OHL defensemen in goals with 15.
Well, his defense partner here is Elgin Reed, recently acquired from the Ottawa 67s, Peter, and he still has his 67 sticks. You'll see that black and red stick there, waiting for his pattern to come in a more team-friendly color, if you will. But the Ottawa 67s have that deal where they have the team name printed along the stick, so it's pretty funny to see a guy playing for Owen Sound with the Ottawa 67 stick.
And in talking to a member of their training staff before the game, they'll be quite happy to replace those when his new ones come in.
Without a doubt. Good pickup, though, of that veteran on the back end should help out. And you can see Owen Sound building its pieces here, getting ready for a big run, hopefully for them through the playoffs.
Reed was a first-round pick at one point of the Ottawa 67s. David Colomatis, who played with the U.S. under-17 program last year. Number 6 on defense for Mike Stothers' squad. Wayne Simmons. Colomatis, a wrist shot through a maze of players as Goughty locates Priamo. Nice pass, and the puck comes to Caruso. So a big kill early for Guelph of a two-man disadvantage.
And that can be a double-edged sword, Peter. For Owen Sound, it can really take the steam out of your game, and for Guelph, it can really elevate your game, having killed off a 5-on-3 early on.
Good lead pass for Tim Priamo, a former member of the Saginaw Spirit, but he's stopped up. Drew Goughty, 9 goals and 28 points for the young defenseman as he shoots it in.
You'll see a lot of that guy in this game, and you'll see a lot of them in the years to come, without a doubt.
Not even eligible for the NHL draft until 2008 because of the late birthday. Here's Ryan, a weak attempt off the side of the net. Farrell to the line and Dallin flat. Wrist shot, found its way through. Good stop by McCollum. A backhanded attempt by Sobozinski. Patrick for Grant McGee. And McLean with good speed. McLean swept away by Durazio, and a penalty coming up this time to the Attack.
Well, Peter, a lot of traffic in front of McCollum early on in this game. The puck goes back to the point, and it goes off Brandon Buck, his own player in front of the net, and tipped by Ryan. It went off 2 different players. First Ryan and then Buck, a pair of number 9s there. And a good stop by McCollum, who just kept his position and waited for the puck to come to him as opposed to overreact.
Bobby Ryan in the penalty box for Mike Stothers' team. Slashing is the call. So after killing off a pair of Owen Sound opportunities, Guelph with its first chance, and they're 16th in the OHL on the power play, as you see, at just over 17%. Digging for the loose puck. Now it comes free to Tyler Doig. Goughty, wrist shot, blocked at the point of attack and cleared by Sobozinski.
Well, Peter, you see why Goughty didn't really have a lane to get that shot through, but there's been so much emphasis this week on the power play in Guelph to get pucks to the net that they might be a little over-anxious to do so.
Flat, clears it. Goughty attempts to hold it in, makes a nice play at the line. Goughty, Marcus Carroll lifts his stick on the slap shot attempt, and the puck is cleared.
Good persistence by Carroll there to stay with the puck holder in Goughty.
Patrick, who came over a couple of years ago in a big deadline deal from London, the year that London won the Memorial Cup. Doig going to the front of the net is Tyler Melanson. He's been a nice addition to this team. Reed back the other way with Simmons short-handed. Wayne Simmons centered in front, scooped up by Jamie Arneal. Arneal leading a 3-on-2 rush. Drops it, Melanson, nice move. Guadagnolo came out to challenge Melanson. Matt Kennedy, tail end of the power play to Caruso and Parent. Melanson. Arneal off the side of the net, cleared. Nice work by Caruso, who drives it loose in front. Caruso again will hold it in the Florida draft pick. Good work on this shift by number 2. Parent, this time it hits Sanguinetti, but another opportunity for Owen Sound to clear fails.
Well, every time you get that chance, you got to do your best to get that puck deep. If the middle's clogged up, get it high off the glass.
Penalty to Ryan comes to an end as Parent's shot stopped by Guadagnolo. A spirited beginning in Guelph. The keys to the game are brought to you by Yamaha, manufacturers of the world's finest recreational vehicles.
They are called the Owen Sound Attack for a reason, and if they're able to live up to their name, they should have some success in tonight's game. And as for the Guelph Storm, with all that firepower possessed by Owen Sound, they need to have a strong game from their players in the back end, from the goalie on out to their 6D.
Tyler Doig centering Melanson and Priamo. Solomon, his shot right on target, and Guadagnolo does well to handle. Icing is waved off. Solomon the reverse, but Marcus Carroll awaits. Tracking it down is Doig, held up, and that'll produce a penalty. Oh, and it's going to go to Doig for holding up the defender. Interesting.
That is odd to see a flag in that situation, without a doubt, Peter. I mean, you think the player going in on the rush there, Doig, well, that's a pretty good call. Actually, when you get to look at the replay, he really does hold Bartanis up from getting to that puck. A lot of times that play will go against the defender for trying to stop the attacker from moving into his zone, but good call there.
Owen Sound missed earlier in the frame with a lengthy 2-man advantage. Back to work on the power play. Lewis with Triguna having a great year. 38 points, hit 23 all of last season for number 12. With Bobby Ryan, Sanguinetti, and Elgin Reed. Arneal, good stick position to break it up and then clears. Jamie Arneal is the nephew of longtime NHLer Scott Arneal. And he gets better and better every time I see him. Just a youngster. Here's Ryan. Drops it neatly for Triguna. Sanguinetti. He can shoot it, does so. Blockered away by McCollum. Sanguinetti again, another good low wrist shot. Gets everything to the net. I guess that's why he scored 15 times.
It's a pretty good lesson to be learned for young players watching back there who play defense. Just get it to the net. Good things will happen.
Hayes attempts to clear, and Nigro will do just that.
You know, two things that Sanguinetti does really well, Peter. First of all, he's able to get pucks through, but his skating ability allows him to do that. He puts himself in a good spot to find those lanes to get pucks through.
Hedman held up as Kolomatis clears in. Caruso, an opportunity to move it up. McCullough was there for Hedman. McCullough lets it go. That got a piece, I think, of Simmons, and obviously hit a Guelph defender too, because the faceoff is staying inside.
Well, this is a very young team being coached by Dave Barr, Peter, and I think he likes the progress that he's made. You talked about Parent being one of those keys to the puzzle that may be dealt away here at some point, but for Dave Barr, his contract recently extended to the end of the 09-10 season.
Colomatis' shot, it did hit Simmons and stopped by Thomas McCollum, who made a pretty nice debut in the league. A shutout back on September 24th against Windsor.
And a good job again by the Owen Sound D to get pucks through to the net, find that open spot, get the puck to someone who has an open shot to the net.
And a real young building block for Dave Barr, as he just turned 17 yesterday, Thomas McCollum. Through the crease, very dangerous. Parent off the glass with some help from McLean. Simmons, 5 points in his last 2 games. He's starting to heat up.
You know, Mike Stothers talked very well about him before this game. Really likes the way he's developing.
So Baczynski finds Simmons, who was a big scorer in the Central Junior A loop last year in Brockville amongst rookies. Flattest shot. Traguna there, so Simmons, and he nearly found the back of the net as he chopped at it. And here's a 2-on-1, Doig with McLean. Doig, what a play by Dallin Flatt, the 20-year-old and former Western Hockey Leaguer in Saskatoon and Kootenay.
Doig was poised to get that puck across to McLean.
Great play. Doig ships it in deep. Brandon Buck. Nice turn away from Sanguinetti. Solomon lets it go. And the puck is directed on net by Grant McGee. Nearly 11 minutes gone in this opening frame. Some big hits. Still looking for our first goal. Lots of NHL action coming your way on your Rogers Sportsnet channels. Some great matchups. Ottawa and Nashville. Minnesota and Calgary, they had themselves quite a battle one night ago. The Oilers and the Hawks improved under Denny Savard, and Phoenix and Vancouver. We've got a good one brewing so far tonight in Guelph. And a backhand from Brandon Buck nearly opens the scoring. Buck's on the ice with former Sault Ste. Marie Greyhound, Grant McGee, and Luke Pither, who came over this year in a trade from Kingston. Matter of fact, he was a Frontenac's first rounder in 05. Pither steers it on target, and diving out is Guadagnolo.
A couple of good chances there for Guelph now, who after getting out of this power play trouble, able to get a couple of chances. But they were happy to pick up Pither again, continuing to get younger here and stay with the program of having to develop. It can be such a tough thing, and when you're in the Western Conference, you lose a couple of games in a row, you can get left in the dust in a hurry, but by acquiring young talent, the future bodes well for the Guelph Storm.
And Pither scored a pair of goals in the 4-2 win in Owen Sound by Guelph on October 25th. Played his minor midget hockey with the Clarington Toros. Trevor Lewis wheeling away with Hedman and Ryan. Puts on the brakes. Pass hits Patrick. Kennedy can't clear it by his man Hedman. Dangerous. A hard blast, but missed. Colomatis. Away from McLean. Starts the rush. Hedman flips and gives chase along with Lewis. Parent. No surprise, you see Ryan, you'll see Ryan Parent. And here's the great skating captain. Did you see him get across there in about a stride and a half?
And that's why he'll be out there against the top line most of the night, and the advantage you have as a home coach here on home ice.
Probably out there against the top line at another upcoming event again.
In Sweden, you think?
I would think so.
Well, it's nice to see that he's back healthy now and really starting to get his legs back under him. It doesn't look like he's missed a beat as far as the skating is concerned.
Boy, that was impressive the way he came across and cut off the gap. Traguna and Wayne Simmons. Simmons Knocked off the disc by Goughty. And here comes the young defender. Played a lot of forward growing up. He's held up, draws a penalty, and nearly turns that into a brilliant individual effort. Well, it wasn't bad. He just didn't score.
The old one-handed trick.
Melanson, good skater. Darts in. Takes a bump from Elgin Reed. I thought the puck was touched. Play carries on. Side of the net. Scores! No, they're going to wave it. Saying that it was hit with a high stick. They might have to go upstairs and review this.
And they may have a case there with Doig being the last guy to touch it. His stick was right around that crossbar area. But Peter, nonetheless, a good effort will be rewarded at the very least with a face-off and a power play because of the fine work by Melanson on that play. The puck gets back to the point. Now it comes off to the side of the net. Watch it flipped up in the air. And see Doig there at the side of the net. I'll tell you what, that one might count. But you can see that stick is parallel or just slightly below the crossbar. Watch Doig on the right side of your screen. Puck goes up in the air. Boom. There he taps it in.
Oh, that should count.
I think that's going to count.
Now the stick has to remain below the crossbar in order for it to be good.
Boy, that
close. Should count.
And I think you're right, Peter.
Tyler Doig, the leading scorer for this Guelph Storm team. He has 36 points in 25 games and has 2 goals and 3 assists in 2 meetings against Owen Sound. So he's played some of his best hockey this season against the Attack.
Not bad for a free agent pickup for the Guelph Storm. We'll get you one more look here as the referees continue to make the calls. The puck squirts loose. It's tapped up in the air by Melanson, and then Doig, great hand-eye coordination. Bunt single up the first baseline for what will be a goal.
Look at the baseball guy throwing in all of that.
Why not, eh?
You never hesitate. And I'd be disappointed if you did.
Good job there. Boy, you have to give Melanson all the credit in the world there. He's the first guy in on the puck. When you thought it might be touched, but no possession there, Peter, it works its way back to the point. Good things happen when pucks get to the net. You see a rebound there where Guadagnolo couldn't find it. And again, it's sent back towards the net by Melanson, and Doig is there to bang it home. That's a great job by Doig to maintain his position there, net side, be patient, wait for the puck to come to him, and then exhibit that great hand-eye coordination.
You know what I find interesting? If we were to take the goal back a little ways, I could almost swear that a member of the Attack touched that puck. Now, maybe he didn't control it well enough, and they are going to point to center ice. It's going to count, and that's not a shock. The 17th of the year for Tyler Doig, and 3rd of the season versus Owen Sound.
Give him 6 points in what is 2 games plus almost a first period here. Good job in this head-to-head matchup for Doig.
And I'm not sure if Drew Goughty will draw an assist. I don't think he will, but it was his rush up the ice that started the whole flurry.
I think Melanson and Caruso will probably get credited with the assists, with Caruso getting the original shot.
The Storm in search of a 3rd straight win over Owen Sound. Strike first, thanks to their leading scorer, Matt Kennedy. You were 100% correct, Mr. Cosentino, in regards to the assists on the game's opening goal. Caruso and Melanson do draw the helpers. Hedman back out with Ryan and Lewis. You'll see a lot of those 3. Then you'll once again see a lot of 9 versus 7 as this game goes on.
It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. 2 excellent players.
Thought we might see a lot of that on the 27th of December, but we won't, thanks to USA Hockey's decision. I guess when you underachieve in Vancouver, somebody's going to pay the price the next time around in terms of maybe needing to change your chemistry up a little bit.
Well, I wouldn't say Ryan had a bad tournament by any stretch. 3rd
in team scoring with 7 points for the USA. But what the heck, it'll likely be better for our country, so I'm not complaining. Solomon, Grant McGee, good pass. McGee, backhand attempt for Pither. Nice puck movement. And Guadagnolo was there. Tyler Doig bats it. A single and the first goal.
Recent acquisition, Luke Pither with the most recent chance for the Guelph Storm, thanks to some great work by Grant McGee. And now McGee does well here to get around McCullough. See that stretch? That gets McCullough's stick out of the way and clears the path to get that pass over to Pither, who gets a good opportunity to beat Guadagnolo.
Marcus Carroll. Bartanis racing after. Goughty and Bartanis fight for the loose puck. On the end boards, helped out by Lane McDermott and cleared off a skate by Pither. There's Sharkey back to collect it with Colomatis. 12. Or make that 11 forwards and 7 defensemen in the lineup, employed by Mike Stothers and company tonight.
And I think you can credit that to Theo Peckham being out of the lineup, the steady Eddie defenseman who brings great physical presence. Not in the lineup for the Owen Sound Attack, so they go with an extra to help take his spot. And you know what? It does take 2 guys at times to replace Theo Peckham.
What a great kid, and want to say hello to Theo, the Edmonton draft pick.
You think he's watching?
Well, I hope he is.
He better be.
Yeah, he's dynamite, and I like the fact he uses the old wood sticks, too. That's pretty neat. And what an offensive year he's had, too. You know, known for his solid, hard-hitting play, but picked up a few points this year. He actually had a hat trick early in the season. Elgin Reed and Sobozinski. Michael Farrell with good speed. Farrell protecting the puck well. Melanson, who drew the assist on the Doig goal, to Doig, and out it goes. If you can't skate, it's tough to find a home at any high level in this game anymore.
All the rules have been made and issued to really open up that skating and use that as a trait as it was 20, 30 years ago.
This guy can skate, the first-round pick of the Rangers, Sanguinetti, and stopped by McCollum. McLean was in behind the defenders. Kennedy failed to deliver the puck.
Well, I think Guelph's doing a tremendous job here in the neutral zone, getting loose pucks, winning battles, even in the center of the ice, Peter. They've done a great job at that in this game so far.
Well said. Their pursuit of the puck at both ends of the rink has been dynamite in this opening frame. And Tyler Doig has his 17th of the year, the lone goal. Goughty, nice work to hold it in. Goughty one more time. Backhands it. Kennedy will turn and shoot it. Caruso now. Blocked by Simmons.
You know, Peter, when you're a good skater like Goughty is, you can afford to take more chances in pitching in at the offensive zone because a lot of time you'll be able to catch up to someone if they get by it.
McCollum shovels it. Triguna with Thomas Stajan and Simmons. Another penalty on the way, and this one's going to the home team.
Well, Peter, you look around the Canadian Hockey League and you talk about this being a young team. Well, in fact, it is the second youngest team right across the country. The Saskatoon checking in at 18.0. These facts and figures from Central Scouting, the National Hockey League Scouting Bureau. And you look down the list, and Oshawa in there at 18.1 years old, the same as Guelph. And boy, that really bodes well for the future. Take a look at the penalty here with Pither headed to the box.
Owen Sound with yet another power play chance. Number 4, and it's Doig who loses the handle as Ryan back. Doig, nice work. Plays it for Parent, has an opening, and sends it the distance. Colomatis to help anchor with McCullough. Bartanis up front with Lewis and Ryan. Here's Lewis. He can really turn it on from a sharp angle, and McCollum took a bit of a peek. There's that burst from Trevor Lewis. And Lewis has had no trouble making an impact in his first year in the OHL with 40 points entering this eve.
Well, this game has a lot of talent in it, doesn't it?
A lot of good skaters. Really enjoyed the pace of this opening period. Despite the fact there really haven't been that many great scoring attempts, Goughty confidently plays it to McLean. Good outlet. And Bobby Ryan to regroup for Owen Sound on this power play. Rink wide, and Sanguinetti has 11 power play goals amongst the league leaders. Ryan, nifty move versus Goughty. Plays him well and finds Arneal, and he finds the end of the ring.
Yeah, it's the same story that you just talked about moments ago. The puck pursuit by Guelph, excellent here, and even very good on the PK as well.
Good back pressure. Simmons carries in. Guy can be very dangerous from the hash marks in. Tough to knock off the puck and can score when he gets into good locations. Elgin Reed. He'll shoot it. That hits Puttriff and he clears.
Good job by Puttriff to defend there, and the goaltender loves it when his defenseman is able to block pucks in front of him.
And another penalty kill for Guelph, who entered the eve 9th in the league in that department at over 82% coming in. Simmons. Wayne Simmons working against Parent, who would have none of it. Can you play somebody better one-on-one than right there?
Perfectly clean check, body to body, shoulder to shoulder, takes Simmons right off the puck.
Tyler Doig supplies the lone goal of a fast-paced opening period. Guelph with great penalty killing and made good on the puck that was batted out of midair. Coming up in our first period intermission, we'll be joined by 17-year-old Drew Goughty. Check in with some first period highlights, and we'll head back to RJ and Broth in the studio.
Coming up tonight on Sportsnet News, following hockey, full NHL highlights on a relatively light night in the National Hockey League. The Raptors take on the Bulls. T.O., he's back. And the Friday night Fight Fest. Welcome back to the Sportsnet studio. I'm RJ Broadhead. Second period just around the corner between Owen Sound and Guelph. The Toronto Maple Leafs have lost 6 in a row. They visit Detroit on Saturday, and they certainly have to get out of this slump. So today they talked about correcting some of those recent problems.
Well, we talked about the things that we talked about after the game last night. Competition, the things that we're doing well, but obviously the things that we need to improve on. We have to. You got to coach every day. You know, you can't just be mad and come out and the proverbial bag skate. And you've got to get into the details of what we're not doing well, and that's what we're working on.
I don't know what the hell's going on between the second intermission, but we got to change it. I think that the last 3 games we've had leads going into the third and lost hockey games, and you know we all know it's unacceptable, and we're all we're all trying to make this thing work.
Well, when you're going through tough times the way we are right now, there's you're trying to obviously solve the problem and address what's missing in our game, and overall, I don't know. We just got to be a better hockey club than we are right now. We're finding ways to lose games. We've been up, I think, the last 3 games and going into the third period, and we end up losing the hockey game. So we just got to be better than that.
Well, for only the 3rd time in franchise history, the Leafs entered the third period with a lead in 3 straight games and failed to win any of those games. They previously did so in February 1978 and October 1985, and I think Leaf fans remember those years as not being very good, so those are forgettable years. Ducks and Capitals, Alexander Ovechkin and the Caps looking for their 5th straight win. They were supposed to be a team of the future. The Ducks looking for their 4th straight win. They have the most points in the National Hockey League. Early in the first, Todd Marchant to Sean Thornton. He walks out in front of beauty on Olaf Kolzig. 1-0 for the Ducks. Then Donald Brashear and the retro look of George Parros. Drop the gloves. Parros bringing back the stash. A little more rough stuff. See, the players love the fights. John Erskine and the goal scorer, Sean Thornton. He needs an assist now to get that Gordie Howe hat trick. Still in the first, Ducks shorthanded. Kolzig loses it behind the net. Thought his defenseman was going to stop. Instead waited for the pass, and Marchant wraps it around. 2-0. Ducks up in the first period. Philadelphia and New Jersey, the only other contest underway, and the Devils have a lead in that Atlantic Division rivalry. Dallas and Edmonton, an 8:30 Eastern Time start, and Carolina playing in Vancouver. That's at 10 o'clock Eastern Time. 1-0, Guelph leads through 20 minutes of play. The second period is next.
On Sunday, we'll make our way about 15 minutes down the road to Kitchener, where the red-hot Rangers will entertain the Kingston Frontenacs. That's Sunday on Rogers Sportsnet Ontario. Drew Goughty, the outstanding young defenseman of the Guelph Storm, joins us. 2 things to begin with, Drew. A, happy birthday. And B, I want to know when the call came, who made it, and how excited you were when you found out that you were going to make your way on Sunday to Calgary.
Well, there wasn't really a call or anything. Dave Barr actually just told me in the dressing room after the game. It was kind of a weird time to tell me because it was after a loss. So he just decided to tell me and Ryan Perrin after the game, and I'm not going to lie, I was pretty shocked to get that invite, and it was just an honor and an amazing feeling inside.
Now that you have the invite, you find it hard not to look ahead to Sunday, even though you got a couple of games here this weekend?
I don't find it too hard. I'm just kind of trying to take it game by game, focusing on tonight first of all, and then we play them again tomorrow, so trying to focus on that, and then I'll wait till Sunday to start focusing on the camp.
Drew, has it kind of been one of those weeks, though, where you pinch yourself? I mean, you had such a great impact in your first season. You're off to a terrific start in year number 2, and now you're so close to maybe having a chance, if not this year, certainly next, wearing the maple leaf again for your country, something you did at the under-18 tournament in August.
You know, it's just a great honor, and last year I had a decent year, and then this year I just wanted to build on that and just play just as much better than I did last year, just due to all the experience and everything I can bring into the next year. It was just had to work hard this year, and that's pretty much why I think I got the invite, just by working hard and keeping to my game.
Drew, congratulations. Always enjoy watching you play, and I'm looking forward to seeing how you make out for a couple of days in Calgary. Enjoy the experience. It'll be one I'm sure you'll never forget.
Oh, that's for sure. Thank you very much.
Drew Goughty, the product of London, Ontario. That kid's a player. Tyler Doig has the game's goal. Keys to the game are brought to you by Yamaha, and also, you know what else we need to tell you about the play of the period? And you know who brings you the play of the period? Easton, because the world's best players, what do they choose? They choose Easton.
Well, it comes courtesy of the Guelph Storm, working with getting a shot through from the point. Caruso gets it back, Melanson gives him the original pass, then gets the rebound, and Tyler Doig finishes it off. Boy, you can't say enough about Melanson on that play. Doig, with his 17th of the year, the lone marker in the first period, led by Guelph, 1-0.
The Canadian Hockey League on Rogers Sportsnet. Brought to you by Buckley's. It tastes awful, and it works. And by Rogers Wireless, the latest MP3 and camera phones only from Rogers.
Welcome back to Guelph. We're about ready for the start of the second period, but before that, how about reviewing the first?
Well, just one goal to account for, and that's by the Guelph Storm. Caruso, Melanson, and Doig finishing it off. Owen Sound had actually 3 good chances in that first period to tie it. The first, off of this Reed rebound, Bobby Ryan does the old Scott Norwood wide right. And then Thomas Stajan with a chance. It looked pretty innocent at the time, but it goes right across the crease, off of Patrick's skate. No go there. And finally, Colomatis springs Lewis, who he too gets a good shot on goal, but they could not beat Thomas McCullum through 8 shots in that first period.
And Doig's third of the season in 3 games against Owen Sound. The lone tally, 9-8, a very even period, and a key that we didn't see in the summary was Owen Sound 0 for 4 on the power play, including a lengthy 2-man advantage of 1 minute and 3 seconds early in the period.
Well, you look at those 5 and 3s and how often they come back to haunt teams, and Owen Sound may find themselves in that predicament here tonight.
I don't think you want to give the likes of Bobby Ryan, Trevor Lewis, Sanguinetti too many more 5-on-3s or power plays, period. Here's Priamo! What a shot! What a goal!
Oh, boy. Well, the one thing that Dave Barr told me about Priamo is that he does have good finish, but you know what? They give assists for a reason, and a good reason here to Tyler Doig. His work along the boards is incredible. Blocks the puck, then it's just a little chip. Boom, right there. That little backhand pass goes right up Priamo's stick, and it takes him about a quarter of a second to let that shot go. And he goes high in the glove side. Look at how far Guadagnolo is. There couldn't have been much of a shot here. Yet he finds it, and it's actually low. I thought it was a high shot.
Priamo's 6th of the year, the 18-year-old from Guelph.
Great shot.
Pretty good pass from Doig, too. His second point of the game.
Tremendous work on the boards by Doig. Walks the puck, gets that turnover in the neutral zone, and then enters the zone with a good pass.
Melanson's second point of the game as well. Priamo from Melanson and Doig at the 25-second mark. Lewis is pulled down. And here comes power play number 5 of the game for Owen Sound.
Well, a tough thing for Dave Barr's Guelph Storm, because you want that bump-up line after the goal to kind of create energy and build momentum. But when you go out there and take a penalty, as Arneal does on Lewis here, Lewis is so fast, and Lewis actually was already on the way down when Arneal fell on top of him. But nonetheless, he goes to the box for the trip.
Elgin Reed back out with Sanguinetti, Triguna, Lewis, and Bobby Ryan. A little power play. Hayes and the 16-year-old Anthony Nigro up front, along with Caruso and Goughty on the penalty kill. Triguna falling as he makes the pass and has it again. Goughty strips him. Almost made it look easy. Guelph hustles to make a line change. Ryan accepts the pass, drops for Elgin Reed. Patriff brings it. Sanguinetti hustles to hold it in. Another chance for Patriff. Here's Reed. Sanguinetti slides it for Lewis. Ryan, Triguna parked in front. Ryan shows you a little of the skill set right there, didn't he? Triguna, high slot, wrist shot. Elgin Reed pinched down, but couldn't collect the rebound in a fashion to be able to shoot the puck. Triguna, a couple of whacks, scores. Scott Triguna, and a power play goal has Owen Sound right back in.
We'll break down on the penalty here on the penalty kill by Guelph. They allowed Triguna that original shot on goal. At that point, it either needs to be picked up or the rebound needs to be cleared, and none of those two things happen. Triguna comes off for the high slot, gets the one shot there, and then everyone's kind of looking back towards the end boards and leaves them alone. You see Triguna with the first shot here. No one picks him up. Everyone turns their back on him. Meanwhile, the puck comes right back out onto his stick to allow Triguna to pick up his 15th.
And his first of the year against Guelph. Every time I watch Triguna play this year, he makes an impact in the game. And he's done it again here in the second period.
I think it tells you everything you need to know, Peter, when you look at the talent on this team, and a guy you don't hear much about getting on the first unit power play.
Nice defensive work by Zach McCullough to break up a 2-on-1. Simmons with a burst. Simmons trying to drive to the net. McCollum gave up a little room on the short side. Owen Sound catching fire a little bit after getting out of the board.
You know, they put 8 shots on goal in that first period, Peter, but I thought Owen Sound actually looked a little flat in that first period. I'm sure Mike Southers had something to say about that, and I couldn't agree with you more. Have come out with a little more zest here in the early going.
8 shots, but not a lot of great scoring opportunities. That can change with this trio in a hurry. Hedman blocked up by Patriff. Patriff has trouble clearing the zone. Nigro will for Kyle Steckley, another rookie.
Just called up for the game today with a couple of injuries, and Rotter going back to play with Austria's World Junior team. Steckley gets the call.
Bobby Ryan, 11th in the league in scoring coming into tonight's play. Patriff at the line. His shot hits Trevor Lewis. And Lewis finds Ryan. Patriff plays him pretty well at the line.
You know, there can be a case made there for interference, Peter. We've seen it called 100 times this year.
Matt Kennedy breaks in. Wrist shot, gloved by Guadagnola.
Now, Peter, you look at this play and you see when the puck is not there, if someone takes away the forward progress of another player, a lot of times he's called for interference. You see Lewis headman the puck, Bobby Ryan right there. Now the puck's gone, Poitras stays with him, and brings him to the ice. We've seen that called a million times, when in the past that was just the continuation of a play that's no longer allowed.
Priamo looking for his second of the period. What a shot he unleashed to make it 2-0. Spinorama from Goughty, and yet another one. Goughty, a shot blocked by Dallin Flat. Priamo, another opportunity. That was just a little evidence of why Jim Hammett, Craig Hartsburg had to invite Drew Goughty to Canada's national junior team tryout camp, which begins Sunday night in Calgary. What a battle that'll be for spots. Here's Goughty. Runs into Sanguinetti. Good play by 22 of the attack.
That'd be a good race to watch those two guys get around the ice. Well, you talk about Goughty, and one of the things he has is tremendous agility and able to do things at high speeds as well. Here at the line, he keeps the puck in. When you thought it was going to be cleared, boom, keeps a bouncing puck. Spin number 1, goes down, nothing there. Spin number 2, see you later, and then gets a puck towards the net. The young man is sensational.
Can't teach that stuff. So Sobozinski and Bobby Ryan back out. Little double duty. Ryan pulled down, and there's going to be another penalty to Guelph. And we said they didn't want to continue with the penalty trouble that they got away with in the first period. They've already surrendered a power play goal here in period 2.
And Poitras is complaining that he just tripped over his own stick. But again, once that puck has left that area, you can't touch that guy, and you can't impede him from getting to that loose puck. So therefore, it's called interference. And when both defensemen close in on him, Peter, those are the types of things that happen when the puck is now 10 or 12 feet away from the play.
Sanguinetti fakes the shot, slides it for Ryan. Trigana, who has the Owen Sound power play goal in this period. Trevor Lewis, Bobby Ryan to the front of the net. Goughty scoops it for Michael McLean. And McLean patiently dumps it down the ice. Sanguinetti. And Lewis, here he comes again, bursting in on right wing. Puts on the brakes, but spun himself down and out of the play. As here's Priamo one more time. Ouch, that might have hurt as he went into the corner boards.
Well, he had a chance there, Owen Sound did, with 2 guys below the icing line on the PK, but good skating there. Helped the Guelph Storm get back into that 4-man PK.
Lewis with some help from Trigana, who pulls it free. Bobby Ryan unleashes the rebound. Solomon to the line. Sanguinetti will get there. Caruso pokes it up.
The Guelph being very aggressive on the penalty kill, and has served them well so far, Peter. But when you have the big guns up front, you want to try and take away their time and space. Guelph's done that.
Ryan. Nice work on right wing to set up the scoring opportunity. Parent. Solomon. Colomatis backhands it for Thomas Stajan, the cousin of Toronto Maple Leaf, Matt Stajan. Nigro picks the pocket of the opposing 17 Simmons and dumps it down the ice. And that should just about do it for the Owen Sound power play. Teams have traded goals here in period 2. Priamo with his 6th, Trigana with his 15th for Owen Sound. Anton Hedman. Thomas Stajan. Hither on the wing for Grant McGee and Brandon Buck. Nice work by Buck. Buck runs into Flat, the Owen Sound plus-minus leader at +11. It's been a nice acquisition, the 20-year-old defenseman by Michael Fuda.
He scours the earth, doesn't he?
They didn't like that deal very much in certain places. However, the one guy that he found that didn't make a lot of people in the Western Hockey League happy was Lewis. He was ticketed for Spokane because he's from Murray, Utah, and generally the Western Hockey League has first right to players from that area of the United States.
Well, there's no doubt there was some confusion in that play, and it ended up being protested by Spokane.
Here's Doig, a couple of great moves. Melanson for point number 3, and it somehow stays out.
Shifty work by Doig.
Doig loves to play against Owen Sound. 2 more points against them tonight. Dragana has Owen Sound within 1.
Lane McDermott finds himself in the box thanks to Tyler Doig and his good effort. Speaking of Doig, dances around a couple of Owen Sound defenders here to create a good shot on goal. And as the play continues on, Doig turns top of your screen. McDermott and Doig get tied up, and McDermott goes to the box for that trip.
Kind of a tough luck penalty.
Incidental contact there.
Second power play of the game for Guelph. 3 for 12, the Storm in the first 2 meetings of the year against Owen Sound on the power play. Good work by Doig to win the face-off for Goughty. Goughty, wrist shot, blocked by Dallin Flat, and look out, Drew. Had a great week. That could have ended it.
It's your birthday. You want to keep all your chiclets.
Absolutely.
You need that birthday cake.
Got a little plane ride to take, son. Doig. Guadagnolo looking to help himself, knocked down by McLean. Doig's standing this game.
Great move.
It's a goal and an assist. Hither shot, that's blocked. Comes back to Doig. Goughty. Hither. To the front of the net is Mike McLean. Owen Sound forcing Guelph to the perimeter. Potriff will spin and locate Doig.
You know, I think Owen Sound learned something in that first period, that Guelph's goal was to get a lot of pucks to the net. Now they're pressuring that puck more and extending that PK out to the line where the defenseman can't get pucks through.
Good adjustment by Mike Stuthers and his staff. Shot from a sharp angle from Doig. Collects it again. Goughty, wrist shot blocked.
A lot of legs in front of Guadagnolo. Didn't even see that shot.
And Potriff's pass off Thomas Stajan and down the ice. Potriff quickly to McLean. Did he get a piece? No, he didn't.
Peter, you talk about Tyler Doig, and I want to go back to the faceoff that started this sequence of play. And I think this skill really started with Peter Zezel way back when. The stick gets up there, but the feet come into use. And Doig's so good with the feet, loses the battle with the stick, but is able to get that spin and kick it off to the side there to allow Guelph to maintain possession on the faceoff. And you know, you talk about Peter Zezel as one of those guys who does it very well. Yannick Crow, another.
Guadagnolo, 20 seconds to go on the Guelph power play, and ouch, that hurt. As Carroll cleared it off the backside of one of the lines. That'll leave a stain. Goughty sends it in for Jamie Arneal. Durazio, the fine 16-year-old defenseman and first-round pick of Owen Sound, sent it the distance. And Owen Sound kills off the Guelph power play as Arneal wheels in. Arneal, good skater, goes to the net. Cleared out of harm's way. Melanson with 2 points of the game. Out with Arneal and Matt Kennedy. Trevor Lewis steals and comes back the other way, leading a 3-on-2 break. Bobby Ryan, what a pass, Lewis! What a feed from Ryan, one-handed to Lewis. And McCollum makes the save, and Bobby Ryan a little shaken up.
Captain Bobby Ryan displaying his skill and strength here. Loses the puck, and then with that one hand just tips it through to Lewis, who had beat his man. And if you look at what Ryan has done so far in his career with Owen Sound, 215 games, 270 points, Peter, and he is not too far off Andrew Burnett's franchise record.
30 points shy, I understand. Here's Lewis, scores! Trevor Lewis, and we're tied at 2, his 16th of the year.
Good players can't be given this much time in front of the net in the high slot, but credit Lewis for getting to an area where no one is around him and being patient, waiting for the puck to get to him. Good job off the draw. It's actually won by Guelph, but then quickly in on it is Ryan. It's tipped off a stick in front of the net, gets back to Lewis in that area in the high slot, and he makes no mistake with that quick release.
Owen Sound rebounds from a 2-0 deficit here in this second period. Goals by Trigana and Lewis. And Lewis with a goal and an assist, and he now has 5 points in 3 games versus Guelph.
It's funny when you look at it, Peter. Bobby Ryan and what Mike Stuthers said before the game. Hey, we want to see him get back to that area where he gives up the puck. He's relentless in his pursuit to get it back, and he did that there to help assist in the goal. Ryan
draws a helper at 11:02. Trevor Lewis with number 16 of the season. Goughty and Caruso. Caruso's pass hits Elgin Reed, who stepped up well at the line, and here comes Simmons. Wayne Simmons, nice move around Goughty. Simmons in front, staging. And Owen Sound starting to carry play. Sanguinetti, pestered by Luke Pither. Don't try and say that quickly 3 or 4 times. Pestered by Pither. I'll keep that one on the shelf for another time. Simmons accepts on the wing. This time he goes around Parent. Boy, beats 2 pretty good defensemen on the same shift, didn't he?
Look at the balance.
He's tough down low.
That's some good wheels.
Trigana works against Parent this time. Then McGee will carry out. Grant McGree. Guadagnolo just inside the trapezoid. McGee down low with Pither. Luke Pither to the front of the net for Buck. They fail to make the connection, and Simmons at the tail end of a lengthy shift will slide and change.
Just brilliant play by Simmons there. He knew he was at the end of the shift. You see him skate towards the bench with that puck first, Peter, so that he knew once he got across the line, it would be just a short hop to get the line change.
Terrific shift. You can understand why he's had 5 points in his last 2 games. 15 on the year so far for the rookie. Solomon. Melanson. He's upended. Still down, gets back up. It's like a pinball out there right now. What a turn. That time by Farrell. Backhander loose in front. Sobocinski won't get many better chances to score than that one right there. Melanson can't clear. And now Priamu has a goal in the period. Sends it back. And Doughty will send it out.
Wow, Peter, a couple of good chances by Simmons, and that's followed up by Sobocinski with maybe the best chance of the trio. It all starts because of Ryan's good work once again. As this puck goes behind the net, Ryan sends it out front on the backhand to Sobocinski, and then you'll see the puck will come loose. He's got a wide open half cage, but that left-handed shot forces him to get into a situation where he has to turn, and by the time he turned to get leverage to get the shot off, it was too late.
Lane McDermott. Bumped by Ryan Parent. Hayes crunched by Bartenis, and Parent comes away with a puck. For Steckley, Parent jumps up. Anthony Nigro in hot pursuit of Elgin Reed. Nice work by the 16-year-old, who was a star on the minor midget team, the Don Mills Flyers last year. One of the best teams in Ontario. Performed very well at the OHL Cup. Parent through a screen, and Guadagnolo found it. We expected a good one. One has been delivered.
Well, the Owen Sound Attack got a couple of good chances, and you see Wayne Simmons tucked behind Sobocinski there. Look at the speed and agility of Simmons here. He gets around Drew Goughty with a little back bank off the boards. And then just seconds later, he'd get a chance to do the same thing on Ryan Parent. And you don't do that too much to that guy.
No.
Oh, man. And then he shows great agility, balance, continues to play. Good shift there by Simmons.
Guelph enjoyed a 2-0 lead at the 25-second mark of this period when Tim Priamo scored his 6th, but Trigana's 15th, Lewis is 16th, and Owen Sound has drawn even. Third meeting of 8 between these two rivals. This is the start of a home-and-home series. They'll play tomorrow at the Harry Lumley Bayshore center and Owen Sound. Bobby Ryan blocked up by Parent. McLean with Kennedy. Matt Kennedy. Ryan back defensively, and you alluded to what Mike Stothers wanted to see. There's an example. Lewis scoops it in, delayed offside. Good work by the linesman. You could have heard that offside call in Kingston. McLean chips it in, and Guelph makes wholesale changes. Talking about Kingston, we'll see them against Red Hot Kitchener Sunday at 7 here on Rogers Sportsnet Ontario. Looking forward to that game.
Two should be a lot of fun.
Grant McGee in deep. McGee to the line, and Caruso. Caruso wrist shot off Pither into the corner. Triguna puts on the brakes. And dumped with a good, solid jolt, but maybe too good. Now here's another element of Simmons' game against McGee.
Oh boy. Tell you what, you don't want to condone fighting, Peter, but when you talk about elements to a guy's game and being tough, we saw his agility and good moves before, working along the boards against Perrin and Doughty. Well, here he takes about a quarter of a second with the butter on his fingers to get the gloves off air to start throwing them with McGee.
So McGee and Simmons gone for at least the next 5 minutes, and there was an original penalty coming up right there to McGee.
And then Simmons said, no, 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 you're not going to do that. Gave him an extra shove and said, hey, you want to go? And the two willing dance participants continued to exchange blows from there on out.
Simmons showing that he can maybe hit you with a right and a left.
Ooh. Been impressive. Not bad at all for a 6th round pick in the OHL priority selection.
Dave Barr requiring a little clarification. Martin Geyer and the big dude, Sean McCormick. Coming up on Sportsnet News, NHL highlights, Major League Baseball, more signings. And Dave Barr not very happy about the fact that his team finds itself short-handed.
You know what, Peter? I think he wanted an instigator on the part of Simmons there to equal things out after that original penalty.
I'm sure that's exactly what he was chatting with the referee about. But it will be yet another Owen Sound power play. Their 7th. And they do have a power play goal here in the period. Scott Triguna. Triguna's out there again. No surprise with Ryan and Lewis. Patra working against Ryan. Triguna. Lewis plays it to number 12. And Elgin Reed has trouble holding it in. Bobby Ryan points in 10 of his last 11. Parent. Glove down, Sanguinetti, back to Ryan. Jeff Hayes pestering Bobby Ryan, who continues to control the puck.
Really controls it well when turning.
What a pass. My goodness. Reed. Will he shoot it? Yes, he will, but it's blocked. And Nigro, another chance he clears. Reed gives him a wallop and breaks his stick.
Good block there by Parent. When you keep short gaps, it really increases your ability to block shots.
Sanguinetti nearly turned it over to McLean. Triguna. Ryan with Lewis. Doughty trying to battle the puck, the stick, and a player, and wins. 36 seconds to go in the power play as McCollum plays it off the ledge. Sanguinetti does well to hold it in. Doughty and Triguna with some help now from Caruso. Good play by Caruso.
Bank shot.
With authority to get it out. One last try on this power play for Owen Sound, and that goes astray. Hit a skate, so it won't be icing, and then over-skated by Caruso. Hedman and Stajan. Thomas Stajan. And Kolomatis will handle his Melanson out of the penalty box, serving the extra 2 minutes. picked up by McGee. Hedman, nice turn. Colomatis. Hedman to the line, and it comes up. Priamo, what a shot he unloaded earlier in the period for a goal. With Doig, who drew an assist on it. Nice touch for Melanson. Melanson, Priamo, and breaking it up was Colomatis. Just in the nick of time. Good stick use by number 6. Here's Brian against Parent. I could watch that all night.
Oh, it's been good.
And we have pretty much. Look at those two world-class players go head-to-head. And it's going to continue.
We've seen each other once or twice before.
And Parent won that battle.
Bobby wasn't giving up very easily, and I'll tell you what, things really starting to heat up now with that physical play. Ryan Parent, you talk about being a shutdown guy. He has been everything and more in the situation in this game tonight. Look at Ryan coming down the wing. He wants that board. Parent says, no, sir. But Ryan, the bulldog that he is, just continues to go. He gives up that puck, and there's that relentless pursuit of the puck you see after Ryan has given it up the first time. Good battles. Oh, you gotta love to see the kids competing that hard.
That's what the game's all about right there. That's fantastic. Two world-class players going toe-to-toe. Terrific stuff. Great chance, great stuff by McCollum as he robs Carroll from in tight. D'Orazio, a hard blast. Carroll another chance. McCollum came over to cut down the angle. Some excitement late in the frame. Kennedy got away. Nick Kennedy. He spins to have a look. Here comes Carroll again. And a fight breaks out at the other end of the ring between McDermott and Kennedy. As these two rivals continue to go toe-to-toe here tonight in Guelph in the start of a home-and-home series.
We kind of figured we were going to get a pretty good tilt tonight. Without a doubt, it has been that. We've seen a bit of everything. Some good goaltending, power play work, seen some good shots on goal. Priamo's goal, for example, a couple of tilts. Some good one-on-one battles with Ryan Parent, Bobby Ryan. He's had it all this tilt. You see Carroll net side here, Peter. Watch McCollum keep that pad right up against the post. Keep that pad pinched to the ice, taking away a golden opportunity for Carroll.
Thomas McCollum just turned 17 2 days ago. What a future this youngster has.
Well, Peter, it's such a great story. They invited him to camp. They found him scouring around in Junior B in Buffalo, led the league last year with a 2.54 goals against average. They invited him to camp. After the first 2 days at camp, the Guelph coaches started to look at each other and say, oh, geez, what do we do here? But they kept him along. They kept going, started to play well. Season opened with he and Jason Guys, the number 1 and 2 guys. And McCollum really took the ball and ran with it. And for most of this year, he's been amongst the top 3 in every goaltending category.
Only John Murray of Kitchener has a better goals against average in the OHL than Thomas McCollum. What is it in this league right now with young American goaltenders? McCollum, Murray in Kitchener, Jeremy Smith in Plymouth, all from the US of A.
It's interesting to note that as you look last year in this league, you wonder where some of the new goaltenders were going to come from, because that might have been an area of weakness if you look league-wide. I mean, you had your Adam Dennis's and your Ryan McDonald's, but with those guys having graduated from the Ontario Hockey League, where would they come from?
Nice hat, son. Anytime you wear that lid, you're going to get shown, and that's the backup. And guess where he's from? Neil Conway. He's from the United States.
Said Mike Buda scours the earth to find players.
Spends a lot of time in New Jersey. Goughty cranks it up a high blast. Doig from the end boards. Didn't work out from a tough spot. Goughty trying to avoid the check as Sobozinski connects with McLean, who misses Doig. And the puck fired right to McCollum, and that looked a little shaky, didn't it?
Oh, it did. But he got it.
Guelph on the power play late in the period. Guadagnolo handles, and that'll do it. Owen Sound rebounds from a 2-0 deficit in that second period to tie the game at a pair. And we will chat with Bobby Ryan coming up in the second period intermission. We'll send it back as well to the Sportsnet News studios for an update. Good battle through 40 minutes. And still a lot more on the way.
Welcome to the Sportsnet studio. I'm RJ Broadhead. Owen Sound and Guelph, third period coming around the corner. It's an interesting first 40, so we'll set you up nicely for a third period. In the National Hockey League, the Philadelphia Flyers taking on the New Jersey Devils. Martin Brodeur looking to pass Ed Belfour for second place on the all-time wins list, playing a pretty good team to get that done against. Devils power play, Brian Giunta shot stop. Jamie Langenbrunner's 10th, 1-0 for the Devils. Here they come again. Brian Rafalski, point shot goes off the board. Scott Gomez had a chance at setting the crease after Gomez rung it off the post. Flyers trying to get on the board. Ryan Patolny is shot off both posts, and that stays out. That helps a goaltender climb the wins list when you get some help from those posts. Patrick Eliash now for Langenbrunner. Great chance. Nidamanki makes the glove save. Still 1-0 Devils. It's in the second period. Ducks and Capitals. Ducks looking for their fourth straight win. Alexander Ovechkin trying to stop them from getting that victory. Less than a minute in. Todd Marchant, that great speed. Doesn't need it here. He's a playmaker. Gets it to Sean Thornton. Cuts in front. His first in the National Hockey League. 1-0 for the Ducks. A little physical stuff. Donald Brashear and George Peros for that retro look. Good little scrap. In fact, it's been quite a fight-filled affair between these two. When you think Washington, Anaheim, where does this rivalry come from? They know they're not going to see each other very often. Sean Thornton, the goal scorer. He goes with John Erskine. Thornton, a goal and a fight. Also had an assist in the game, so he's got the Gordie Howe hat trick. Marchant, the wraparound, as Olaf Kolzig had a malfunction with his defenseman. Marchant's 8th of the season. 2-0 Ducks after a period. 3-0 Ducks. It's still in the second frame, so Anaheim leading the game and leading most of the fights, too. New Jersey still up 1-0. They're looking for their fourth straight victory. Edmonton and Dallas just getting underway. The Stars have won 3 in a row. Edmonton's won 2 in a row, in Carolina and Vancouver a little bit later on. Taking a cue from legendary head coach Roger Nielsen, Ottawa Senators forward Peter Schaefer has been fined $2,500 by the NHL for waving a towel on the bench after the Sens were called for 4 consecutive minor penalties in the third period during Wednesday's 6-2 loss to the Washington Capitals.
I would take it back. Obviously I would, but heat of the moment kind of frustration, and like I said, if I could take it back, I would. It just we were kind of rattled, and obviously I was too.
He just was trying to make peace with the officials after Dean was yelling at him. Isn't that what you do when you surrender? You just try to make peace.
That's right. You got to be friends with everybody. Sportsnet News following the contest tonight will take you through the NHL as well as the Raptors and Bulls. Let's get you back to the third period.
Looking forward to a Sunday night in Kitchener when the Rangers and their red eye will tangle with Bruce Cassidy's Kingston Frontenacs. Start of a home-and-home series here tonight. Guelph and Owen Sound, and the Owen Sound offensive leader once again is Bobby Ryan. Bobby, I first have to ask you, you're having quite a night battling Ryan Parent in a tussle of world-class players.
Yeah, well, every time we come in here, I know I'm going to be seeing a lot of him, and like you said, he's a world-class defenseman, and he's tough to go against every shift, but I enjoy the matchup, and I'm sure he does too, and we have a laugh about it when we're off the ice, but right now we're battling, and that's the way it's going to stay.
Well, Bobby, looking at the situation with yourself and the World Junior team in the U.S., give us your thoughts on not being selected to that team.
Well, it's definitely heartbreaking. You want to represent your country every chance you get, and playing for Team USA is something that every player wants to do, and would have loved to have done it again, but at the same time, they got to pick their team and go with what they feel is best, and if they did that, then I'll be rooting for the guys wearing the jerseys, that's for sure.
Bobby, not to belabor the point, but have you gotten any indication from anyone at USA Hockey why you were not selected for a second straight year after you were the third leading scorer on the team last year in Vancouver?
You know what? Nobody's called yet.
Bobby, looking at this game now, the 2-2 tie here in a pretty good battle. What is it that you think your club needs to do better going into that third period?
Well, I think we showed some fight there, came back and battled hard, and capitalizing the power play here would be key. You know, we did get 2 power play goals, but we're not scoring enough on the power play right now, and that's got to continue to get better. And also, we got to get the pucks deep. And their goalie's playing well, but he's playing a little deep. If we can get some shots on that and get some screens, hopefully we can find some eyes.
Bobby, thanks so much for joining us. I know it's been a bit of a difficult week, but we always enjoy watching you play, and keep up the good work.
I appreciate that. Thank you, guys.
Bobby Ryan from Collingwood, New Jersey, going up against a young man from Sioux Lookout, Ontario, and it's been fun to watch. Everyone's enjoying themselves, and why not tonight in Guelph, 2-2 after 2, as we show you the highlights from that very period.
2-1 for Guelph going into that second period of play. And you see here Doig doing good work along the boards. He gets it to Priamo, who buries it. And picks up the marker there. And then Trugana gets 2 cracks at it there. Gets it past McCullum. And finally, Lewis, high slot. Keep an eye on him. Puts his stick up in the air to say, hey, I want the puck. Well, it ends up on a stick thanks to the good work by Bobby Ryan in the corner. And all of a sudden, the game's tied at deuces.
Second period scoring summary is brought to you by Vaughn, where performance meets protection.
Priamo with a 6, Trugana 15, and Lewis 16 shots on goal after 2 periods of play, 23-16 in favor of the Attack.
Stage is set for a good third period, and maybe a little bit more. Who knows? Trevor Lewis tied this game at 2. Great vantage point here at the Guelph Sports and Entertainment Center. Mr. Cosentino, myself, and our fine statistician, Mr. Scott Carson, on hand, and our great crew as we're set for the third period. Owen Sound rebounding from a 2-0 second period deficit. There's one of the key players in the game, Tyler Doig, who has a goal and an assist. Trevor Lewis has the same for Owen Sound. Bob Sanguinetti gives the mouth guard at going over.
Minor reparations being made on the blue line right in front of the Guelph bench.
Working on the ice here in Guelph. And it's taken a working over through 40 minutes from these two division rivals playing their first of a home-and-home series. They'll meet tomorrow night in Owen Sound. Ryan Parent, Jamie Arneal with Tyler Melanson and Mike McLean to open the period for Dave Barr's team on the power play. Parent and Doughty to anchor. Arneal and Doughty. Doughty wrist shot right on. Good save by Guadagnolo, maybe his best of the game.
A lot of traffic in front of him, Peter, and he did well to stay in position.
Doughty hesitates to create space. Parent lets it go, then it hit McLean and went wide. It's been a while since Ryan Parent has scored a regular season goal. You have to go back to February 17th of last year. Parent, wrist shot. Doughty. Oh, such good patience, this number 8. Melanson. Doughty again. Slides. Parent fan. Flat clears.
And again, a readjustment on the part of Owen Sound there. And what Dave Barr did to go against the adjustment Owen Sound made was put that third person back there. You saw Melanson playing as almost like a 3-man point system, and that forced Owen Sound to really retreat back in front of the goal, and that created more traffic. Good cat and mouse game going on here by the two head coaches.
Big early kill for Owen Sound. Trugana steals. He scored the first Owen Sound goal in the second period, his 15th of the year. Doig. Priamo. Not out. For Caruso, hopped over his stick, allowing Stajan to spot Bobby Ryan. Ryan, what a pass! Sanguinetti! And that's blocked by Patrick. Bobby Ryan.
He has tremendous vision out there, Peter, and he's so strong. He's able to get a lot on his passes, even from bad positions in the ice.
Here comes Pither with good speed. Luke Pither, a high shot over top of the cage, and back comes Ryan with Priamo trying to hold up the big forward, and Goughty upends him.
Well, he's a monster when he wants to be, Peter, and he reminds me, doesn't have quite the speed of a Chris Stewart, but when he wants to get to a puck, pretty tough time stopping.
Brandon Buck dances by Elgin Reed, but there to save the day, literally, was Guadagnolo. And you've got to give Bobby Ryan a lot of credit. There are several players that would pout after what occurred to him this week, not being invited back to play for his country for a second straight year, but he scored 4 points the other night in Erie, and it looks like he's taken it as a challenge to say, you made a mistake.
Well, he's right on his game, Peter, and you have to give Mike Stothers a lot of credit, too, because he called Stan Butler, who was in a similar situation with Wojtek Wolski last year in the Brampton Battalion, and said, hey, Stan, how did you deal with this situation? So he gave him a little bit of advice on what to do in that situation, and it's worked well.
Well said. The coaching staff, Mike Buda, deserve a lot of credit, because that is not an easy pill for anyone to swallow.
And good on Bobby Ryan for not souring.
Could not agree more. Drew Goughty holds it in at the line. Goughty thought about going to the bench for a change, took a look, and thought, we might be in trouble if I go now. Zach McCullough. Guelph has won the first 2 games between these two teams in late September and then late October. Michael D'Orazio has a good future in the league.
He's in a pretty good spot, too, because with a lot of veterans on this team, especially in the back end, Peter, they can give him some time to develop.
They'll get a great look at playing for Team Ontario at the Canada Winter Games in late February. Caruso, a high shot, a lot on that. Here comes Ryan. Does he ever come off? Ton of ice time.
I wouldn't take him off either, the way he's been playing.
Trevor Lewis, a backhander. Flat moves in for Lewis through his skates. Dragana. And Pither chops it out of the zone. Dragana. You feel like Owen Sound is slowly starting to take the game over a little bit.
I think you felt that way through the latter stages of that second period.
Parent, his pass hit a stick, and carrying on now is Mike McLean. McLean wrist shot off the stick. Scooting in is Arneal. Has Priamo in the slot. Tried to cycle the other way. And it's iced.
Peter, Owen Sound, as you talked about, really starting to take the play to Guelph, leading them to 20 in the shots on goal department, 23-18. And a good chance here as the puck is turned over by Guelph. Backhand chance. McCollum, who plays deep in his net, puts the pads together and makes the stop. And you talk about Mike Stothers and him consulting with Stan Butler of the Brampton Battalion on that Bobby Ryan situation. And I could give a lot of credit to the coaches for having the willingness to look outside the box and trying to deal with certain situations.
Winning the psychological game with your players in this day and age probably means even more than X's and O's.
Couldn't agree with you more, Peter.
Top scorers are brought to you by Boston Pizza. Catch all the sports action at your local Boston Pizza, because you're among friends.
London rookies now have company atop the standings with Barrie's Brian Little up at 60 points now. Daniel Ryder and Steve Downey. What a dynamic duo in Peterborough, and will they too at some point be on the move, Peter?
A lot of talk and a lot of big players that could be headed to new homes.
It's going to be a fun trade deadline here in the Ontario League.
Tripp Gunna for his second of the game, didn't miss by much. On the ice with Simmons and Stajan. Reed has it hop over his stick. Here comes speedy little Hayes. Jeff Hayes with Brandon Buck and Anthony Nigro. 3 rookies. Parent. Buck takes a jolt from Sanguinetti, the first rounder of the Rangers. McCollum and Drew Goughty. Pass gobbled up by Lewis. Wrist shot off the arm. Simmons banging away, and Parent cleared it out of harm's way. Durazio, that hit a stick and changed direction. Good stuff by McCollum. Simmons again with Sobozinski. Simmons tough to knock off the puck. Goughty to the line, not out. McCullough. Zach McCullough hit Goughty. And now he'll have a chance again to clear, and does! And is crunched by Bobby Ryan. And Ryan Parent went over and said, no, 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 no.
See how that, what a, just great battles. A good, clean, open ice hit.
Yeah, this is great.
Great to watch.
Melanson. Nice move. Pass attempt, hit escape. That would have been pretty. Here comes Ryan.
And Melanson get back.
He has some wheels. Number 23, who has an assist in the game.
And a ton of energy.
We need to save some for the rest of regulation. Goughty, say hello to Bobby Ryan, and then Ryan says hello to Ryan.
Well, defense partners Ryan Parent and Drew Goughty will get the call to go back on the ice, and Goughty here tries to flip it out of the zone. As he does so, he's caught looking down, and Bobby Ryan runs over him like a freight train. But look at the captain of the Guelph Storm, Ryan Parent, will soon approach Ryan thereafter and say, hey, don't take advantage of the young guy.
Elgin Reed snaps it. Blocked in front, and Goughty plays it for Mike McLean with Matt Kennedy and Jamie Arneal. Sanguinetti. Bobby Ryan now with Sobozinski. Elgin Reed jumps up on the play. Arneal confronted by Ryan. Kennedy, great lead pass. McLean with Arneal. But Owen Sound was back in good numbers defensively that time. Kennedy working diligently. Finds Goughty. Wrist shot towards the front of the net. Here's Arneal. Already surpassed last year's totals as the 17-year-old. Kennedy takes a wallop. There's going to be a penalty to the attack. Goughty. McLean and now Matt Kennedy. Kennedy. And it's stopped up by Elgin Reed.
Good job by the Storm to get that puck deep after it left the zone. Goughty initiates the play to get the puck in the offensive zone in order to get that face-off and start things there. Kennedy working behind the net with Elgin Reed, and then it's Ryan who comes in thereafter. And it's Ryan who gets the gate. He's a tough guy to play against when he wants to play a physical game, folks. Look out.
Playing with a chip on his shoulder here tonight, and good on him. Guelph with a big opportunity on the power play. Doig. Tregunna broke it up, couldn't clear it. Potriff jamming away his Priamo. Ryan Potriff for Drew Goughty. Tyler Doig. Priamo side of the net. Grant McGee in front of it. Potriff moves up. That's blocked. And Guadagnolo will handle it in a big hit. Flat. Drilled McGee. And now McGee and Simmons nose to nose, and they've already had one encounter in this contest.
Yeah, and I don't think they're going to punch the dance card once again. Tim Priamo's one of those guys for the Guelph Storm, Peter, who such a good player as far as his hands are concerned. I think there's one area in his game that lacks a little bit is the skating, but he still has time to work on that. Acquired from Saginaw in the deal that brought Priamo home, and I think playing at home has given him that kind of comfort that's allowed him to excel so far this year.
We found out 25 seconds into the second period that he can shoot it. Scored his 6th of the year that gave Guelph a 2-0 lead at that point. Goughty! I think that just hit Guadagnolo. There's no way on earth he could have seen that. Goughty, Parent a blast! Fired a wide on the short side. Guelph pressing with a manpower advantage. Melanson, Goughty, Parent wrist shot. The referee involved, Colomatis, McLean with Arneal. Here's Goughty one more time. Melanson, top of the circle. His pass stopped up by McDermott. Goughty, quick shot, he scores! Drew Goughty should get credit, I think. And if it is, it's his 10th of the year.
And if not, McLean will get credit, but at the very least for his assisting in the blockade of Guadagnolo in front of the net. You know, Dave Barr told me before the game, Peter, our power play really needs to get pucks to the net. And I think they struggled in that department earlier in the game, but in the third period here, it has not been the case. They've got a lot of shots on goal, created a lot of traffic. Look at Priamo here, right side of your screen, out the slap shot from Goughty. Not so sure it didn't hit something on the way in, but nonetheless, the ability to find shots through from the point is always helpful, and Goughty gets a good shot on goal there.
We'll wait for the announcement. McLean was certainly there. Goughty will at least pick up a point. It does go to the birthday boy, Drew Goughty. A power play goal. It's his 10th of the year.
Great job by McLean providing that screen in front of the net. You know, power plays and special teams are so important in today's game, Peter, and the more you're able to capitalize on your power play chances, the better success you will have as a team.
Brandon Buck, a backhander. Off Durazio, and then the glove of Guadagnolo. Nigro. Well, you could start the Italian national team on this shift.
Sure, let him go.
Guadagnolo, Nigro, Durazio. And you would have no complaints.
Well, that's Amore.
Is who? Oh yeah, that's the other one. No Greeks on this shift. A lot of good Canadians and Americans in this game. 3-2, Drew Goughty on the power play gives Guelph an advantage. Drew Goughty's 10th of the year on the power play at 9:43 from Ryan Parent and Jamie Arneal has left Bobby Ryan and the Owen Sound Attack down by a goal here in the third, despite the fact that the Attack had been dominating about the last full period territorially, and it rebounded from a 2-0 deficit to tie the game. Ryan back out with Lewis, and now Sobocinski. Matt Kennedy content to slide it into attack territory. Sanguinetti, Sobocinski, and Trevor Lewis, who has a goal and an assist, trying to split through the D. Mike McLean. Arneal broken up by Reed, and here's Ryan. What a play by Bobby Ryan. My goodness. That doesn't show up in the stat sheet, but it's not a lot of guys who can make that delay and feed. And at the end, it almost turned into a goal.
And to do it in that area on the ice where you're really vulnerable.
Lewis with a little room. McCollum had a great look and hangs on. No rebound. And now Parent and Lewis locking horns. And that could happen on December 27th when Canada collides with the United States and Sweden.
Well, they just introduced themselves to each other a little earlier, that's all. They talked about Bobby Ryan all night long, and he has been dynamite, but this little pause and hesitation right here, and then that move there to avoid the open ice hit, create a good opportunity, and then the second opportunity results there for Sobocinski, who fires it off the blocker of McCollum.
Penalties handed out here to Sobocinski and Ryan Parent. Coming up at the top of the clock, following our hockey game, the next edition of Sportsnet News with Martine Geyer and Sean McCormick, the big dude, and lots of big items coming your way here on Rogers Sportsnet Ontario. Ryan Parent, Dave Barr. Well, Dave Barr with a young rebuilding team, still very competitive, I might add, here in Guelph, as we've witnessed tonight. Will he send Ryan Parent to a new home before January 10th.
Well, there's going to be a couple of guys available, and you know, defensemen, whether you're a scorer or a shutdown guy, are always very valuable at that time of year.
There's a few teams in this league that would have room for Ryan Parent.
I'd say 19 others.
Patrick. Tyler Doig banks it off the boards to himself and sets up a scoring chance. Preamble, and Trevor Lewis. Sensational play by Trevor Lewis, the first-round selection of the LA Kings. Here's Bobby Ryan with a step on Patrick, and Caruso sliding to break it up as we start to go end-to-end here in the third. Patrick wanted Doig over top of his stick. Playing 4-on-4 with the coincidental minors to Parent and Sobozinski as Triguna carries in on the offside.
Well, speed is such a big element to the game now, and when you get caught flat-footed, you have to make up for it. Trevor Lewis makes up for it with good speed here for the Owen Sound Attack. Doig there. Lewis dives in at the last second to take a puck away, and at the other end of the ice, the Guelph Storm doing the same thing. Poitras gets turned around, and a good diving play there by Caruso to keep Bobby Ryan out of harm's way.
Trevor Solomon off the boards. Will this be icing?
And indeed it will be. Well, Peter, you look at this young Guelph Storm team, and it's a team with not a ton of size. Jeff Hayes is one of those guys who fits into that mold of the new NHL, new CHL, if you will. One of those small guys with a ton of speed, and there are in a plenty here in Guelph.
A 12th round draft pick out of Ottawa is 17-year-old Jeff Hayes. Drew Goughty as the go-ahead goal on the power play here in the third. Watched closely by Trevor Lewis. Mike McLean. Dangerous inside his own territory, but finds Solomon, and now Arneal. Arneal for Goughty. Look out, here comes Bobby Ryan. Ryan in home free, and McCollum with the best save of the game. Thomas McCollum kicked up the pad to rob Bobby Ryan.
Unflappable, the young man.
Lewis now. Blocked by Patrick. Arneal helps. Simmons on top of him. Wayne Simmons. Mattis, wrist shot, big rebound as Parent and Sobozinski come out of the penalty box.
Well, Peter, you called it. That Simmons is a menace. Once that puck gets along the board, forget about it. He's going to win that puck.
Boyd, nice moves. High wrist shot, didn't miss by much. Parent, he lets it go. Deflects. Out of play.
Well, this game really starting to pick up. We've seen a couple of end-to-end rushes here, but Peter working on the forecheck, another element to Bobby Ryan's game. Goughty gets tied up, and it's just that split second right there that forces Solomon on the back of his heels. Now Ryan tries to go to the backhand, but he can't get the puck up in the air to get it over McCollum's pad. And the young man just waited for Ryan to come down on him, waited for Ryan to make the first move, and then he reacted very well.
Bobby Ryan has been a man amongst boys in this game for the majority of it. Very impressive.
Yeah, he's doing a bit of everything tonight.
If you're USA Hockey, you haven't watched tonight's game when you made your selection.
You ain't lying.
And I'm not trying to be real critical. One of the head gentlemen in that program, Lou Mongeluso, is someone I really respect, and I've known him since about 1986. Tough decisions in countries like Canada and the U.S. when you're making those teams. Marcus Carroll trying to draw his team even. And McCollum is shutting the door when his team needs him the most.
I suppose he's celebrating a birthday too. Turned 17 just yesterday.
No wonder he has the second best average in the league.
The Canadian Hockey League on Rogers Sportsnet. Brought to you by MasterCard. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard.
Look at these two youngsters having a blast, wearing their Guelph Storm paraphernalia. I'm not sure they care that it's 3-2 right now.
Good head-to-head battle. Maybe they're watching Parent and Ryan.
5:34 to go in regulation. A 3-2 lead for the home team. Trying to make it 3 straight this season over Owen Sound. Lewis, stopped by Parent. Matt Kennedy. Arneal on the forecheck against Elgin Reed with the help of Matt Kennedy. Trevor Lewis back defensively, but Kennedy kept it alive and had a good scoring chance. He was pulled down, and there'll be an Owen Sound penalty.
Elgin Reed will go to the box. You see Arneal still getting up off the ice now on one knee, and a horrible time to take a penalty there, but a good chance for Guelph to try and up that lead to 2 goals, and you saw right in front of the net there, Elgin Reed gets called for interference.
And the go-ahead goal was scored on a power play by Drew Goughty against Mike Stothers' squad. What an engaging gentleman he is to talk to. A former Philadelphia Flyer, has done a great job behind the bench in Owen Sound. Great management team up there. Goughty battling a rolling puck. Here's Simmons. Boy, has he been impressive. And here he comes. Short-handed, nearly tied it. Colomatis, high wrist shot. Off the shoulder of McCollum, who's made 2 terrific saves to keep his team in front.
There goes Simmons again. He too is getting a lot of ice time, and rightfully so.
Priamo, another good wrist shot. And Guadagnolo, the save.
Peter Guelph giving up a couple of good chances to Simmons here on the power play, and you look at Priamo getting a chance to go out there, who big guy who could set his body in front of the net, gets a chance to get out there in that first power play unit. We've seen him bury it here tonight, and when he gets into a spot with a little time, he's got one heck of a shot.
Melanson, Arneal, and McLean up front for Guelph on the power play with Goughty and Parent. Ryan Parent, wrist shot, loose in front, scores! Jamie Arneal on the doorstep, and Guelph has maybe thrown the knockout punch.
Well, you can't stress it enough times, Peter, that how important is it to get shots on net on the power play from the point. And we've seen Ryan Parent all game long, especially here in this third period, take that pass from Goughty in an area where he can get a puck through. Now, it doesn't have to be the hardest shot. It doesn't have to be the best placed shot. It just has to be a shot that can create a rebound. And in that case, it created the rebound for Arneal to pick up the goal to increase the lead to 2.
Jamie Arneal had 19 points in his rookie season. That's his 15th goal. And he's just 17.
Pretty good improvement over the course of 1 year.
Yeah, he's a good player. Parent with 2 assists in the game. He had just 3 coming in this injury-plagued season for Parent, who's been dealing with a back problem for a lot of the year.
Another look at Arneal's goal here, and it all starts with that shot on goal. And you get it low enough where if it goes off a stick, a pad, whatever the case may be in front of the net, that it's going to create that rebound. And with Guadagnolo coming out to play that puck, it left a little space open there.
Dragana back out with Lewis and Ryan with a 2-goal deficit and less than 4 to play in regulation. They may not come off. Elgin Reed working against Kennedy, and there's another one of those situations that's borderline interference. Ryan and Lewis very close to being offside at the line. Melanson ahead to Brandon Buck with Jeff Hayes. Hayes working against Sanguinetti. And here comes Ryan. Lewis. Shot stopped up by Patrick. Melanson cleared it, but right to Lewis from a sharp angle. Now Ryan. Back to the line. Will Reed hold it in? Yes. Elgin Reed off a stick, and I thought that went in for a second. I saw it hit mesh, but it was on the side of the net, not in it. Brandon Buck with a lane. Big rebound, and Lewis. Boy, I really like the way Lewis has come back in his own zone.
Both ends of the ice.
He'll play for the United States of the World Junior Championship in Sweden.
Yeah, you have to be impressed, Peter, with his play at both ends of the ice. Trevor Lewis, I mean, he's usually the guy first down on the rush, and with his great skating ability, has oftentimes in this game been the first guy back to help out of the three forwards, and he made another good play there to take a would-be scoring chance away from Guelph.
Kane, Gagne, Merzak, a lot of great first-year players in this league, and a penalty coming up. Bartanis involved with Ryan Parent, and it's Parent who's going to get the gate with 2:23 to go. His team enjoying a 2-goal advantage.
I think if you look in Parent's glove, he's probably got a list of guys he's going to see here in December 26th there onward. Bartanis check another guy off the list. Parent keeps it in. Bartanis comes after him, and then Parent just holds him there. A little drag, holds his stick, and then throws it to the ice, and that happens right in front of the man with stripes.
Well, interesting that you bring that up, because Slovakia is also in Canada's pool in Sweden. They'll meet in the final game of the round robin for Canada on New Year's Eve.
He's got the 6-shooter out, Parent, and I think he's got everyone here tonight.
Who can blame him? Drew Goughty plays it. Ryan awaits. Sanguinetti. Arneal bearing down on him. Arneal with a big goal on the power play to make it 4-2. Lewis. Ryan. Goughty on top of him. Triguna now to the line. Nice stick work by McLean to break it up. We'll look towards Anthony Guadagnolo to see if Mike Stothers might remove him. They already enjoy a one-man advantage. Might it be too soon?
Guelph's gone back to that area in the game when they're winning a lot of those battles, especially in the neutral zone and loose pucks that are just over their own blue line.
I thought they dominated the first period. Owen Sound really came back for the second and the majority of the early portion of the third, but then the power play goal by Doughty really turned the tide back in favor of Guelph.
That and a couple of good saves by McCollum really helped turn the tide.
Yeah, I was going to go there as well. We're into the last minute. Guadagnolo now starting to come, but with a puck's location, makes his way back for a second. Kolomatis and Stajan to the line. Here's Kolomatis moving in, wrist shot. McCollum may have got a shoulder on it.
He got a piece.
Give that young man credit to really shutting the door when his team needed him the most here in the third. Robbed Bobby Ryan on a partial breakaway, and then made another huge save a couple of moments later.
Ryan Pottruff getting a chance to play some valuable minutes here at the end, and with the icing call, Guadagnolo was forced back out onto the ice for Owen Sound for at least the face-off, but with 34.4 seconds left in this game, going to take some quick work by Owen Sound.
Timeout is being called right now. Mike Stothers calling the troops over. This team does have the firepower to score twice in 34 seconds. Looking forward to Sunday in Kitchener when the Red Hot Rangers collide with a Kingston Frontenacs. 7 o'clock on Rogers Sportsnet Ontario as we make the trip a little farther down the highway.
If that game's anything like the last one we saw with Kingston, look out.
What a tussle that was, the 7-6 overtime win by Oshawa last Sunday.
That was a lot of fun. We'll see if they do anything interesting here off the face-off. Times in this situation call for desperate measures. You throw a guy wide, Peter, to see if he can maybe get a jump on the action off the draw.
Well, and you see where Pottruff was lined up well wide defensively. This won't help, a turnover, but now Ryan off the skate of Triguna, and now it's going to be very difficult. Not that it wasn't to begin with before the faceoff. The second youngest team in the CHL, the Guelph Storm, against Owen Sound, about to knock off the attack for the third straight time this season. Ryan turns, fires, Simmons, and that'll do it. 2 third-period power play goals courtesy of Drew Goughty and Jamie Arneal help helps Guelph to their 13th win of the year.
A well-played hockey game by both sides, Peter, and Guelph, for whatever reason, seems to have Owen Sound's number in the first 3 meetings. They have taken all 3. Owen Sound had its chances. They led in the shots department, but Thomas McCollum came up big when required to do so, and a couple of timely goals on the part of the Storm with their power play, able to salt this one away for Dave Barr's squad.
Goughty, the game winner on his birthday, turned 17 today. And the start of a weekend he won't forget. He'll board a plane for Calgary Sunday, but tomorrow he's got to go to Owen Sound as the Storm salute the fans. Are we in New York? Play of the game is brought to you by Ackland's Granger, Canada's leading distributors of industrial fleet and safety supplies.
Turn to the Guelph Storm on the power play. Puck makes its way back to Drew Goughty, who does a good job in finding a seam. Shoots it high with traffic in front of the net. Guadagnolo unable to see it. That would turn out to be the game winner. The Storm would add one more for insurance.
And the birthday boy from London, a nice present. Drew, tell us about how you saw that goal develop.
You know, just before the game, the coach was telling us to just get pucks to the net, and Arnie gave me a nice feed right on tape, and I just tried to get the puck to the net as fast as I could, and it happened to go in.
A couple of momentum changes in that game. I thought, Guelph, you guys really took it to Owen Sound in that first period. Second period seemed to be owned by Owen Sound, but you guys really stayed the course in this game.
Yeah, in between periods, we came in there kind of down because we knew Owen Sound was all over us there, and they tied it up at the 2-2 mark, and Barzy just said, you know, keep it simple, just keep playing hard, and we really needed this win. Playing a team in our division and being on a bit of a losing streak there is a really important win.
Drew, battling guys like Lewis and Ryan is not an easy chore, is it?
No, for sure not. Those guys are just great players, very strong on the puck, very shifty, and you just can't take your eyes off them. You gotta give them a lot of respect, and you just gotta play strong on them.
Well, you look at the guy playing behind you, and Thomas McCollum has been dynamite all year. What have you thought of his play and helping you out as a defenseman?
Well, coming in, it was a great surprise to our whole team. We thought that Jason Guy was going to be our starter, and he just stepped up to the plate, and he just played hard every game and just played unbelievable for us, and he's still doing that. A couple of these wins we've got we can probably say are because of him, and without him, we wouldn't be the team we are.
Drew, what has Ryan Parent meant to your development over the last season or so?
Oh, he's meant a lot, especially last year. The coach gave me a chance to play with him, and he just pretty much taught me everything, and he always was there I could rely on him if I wanted to take a rush or anything. He's just an awesome player to play with, always talking, and he's a great leader.
Drew, thanks so much. Best of luck tomorrow night, and then best of luck when you head on an airplane to Calgary and get set to participate in the national junior team's final selection camp.
Thank you.
Drew Goughty, the game winner on his birthday, and the third straight win of the year by Guelph over Owen Sound. We're headed to Kitchener for a beauty on Sunday. It's Peter Loubardias Rangers against the Kingston Frontenacs. At the top of the hour, the next edition of Sportsnet News with Martine Geyer and Sean McCormick. Those are just some of the goodies that they will bring your way on this Friday, including a little ding-ding, apparently. Ring the bell. And they rang the bell tonight in Guelph for what we expected would be a good show. And we weren't disappointed, neither were the mascots. Bobby Ryan was a man amongst men. Wayne Simmons sure made an impact, as did Tyler Doig. But 2 third-period power play goals paved the way for the Storm's victory over the Attack. Hope you enjoyed it. For Sam Cosentino and our entire Rogers Sportsnet crew in Guelph, let's turn it back to one of the good guys, RJ Broadhead, back in the studio.